Hey, it's your boy Easy, and on today's episode of Easy Opens, we're going to be taking a look at the Jada Toys Mega Man Iceman figure. Because that's me doing the face. Yeah, whatever. Iceman first appeared in Mega Man number 1, released on December 17th, 1987 on the NES here in the States and on the Famicom in Japan. Created by Dr. Light to perform tasks under extreme climate conditions, a self-centered show-off sort of cold king of a character who has a weakness for Thunderbeam and does not like saunas. Now let's get this figure free from its plastic prison and see what we think about Iceman. So fresh out of the box, Iceman looks awesome. Jada Toys doing fantastic work here, and I am very happy to have him early on in this line because he is one of my favorite Robot Masters, probably because he's just so short. Something about shorter characters in a lot of fiction, I don't know, just, tiny things look cute to me. There, I said it. So if that's wrong, I don't want to be right. But one thing I am right about is how cool this figure is. Yeah, I said it. The figure's cool. He just is. And most ice characters are. I've yet to find one that's not cool, because that you have to be an ice character, I would imagine. Anyway, Iceman looks awesome. He's definitely, like I mentioned, much shorter than the other characters in this line, and that is character accurate as well, and that is awesome. I always love attention to detail like that, especially with the turtles, but also especially with like action figures of Wolverine, because a 6-foot Wolverine means nothing to me. That, or a 6-inch Wolverine, and for that matter, means nothing to me. It's like I need him to be a little bit shorter because that is part of his character. And it's the same thing here with Iceman. He just looks so cool, and I remember him in the video games being a lot tinier, and I always thought that was awesome. So this figure's nice, has a good heft to it, so he feels substantial like the other characters in this line. And the sculpt is great. The fur around his face, I forget what this thing is called. It's not a bonnet, but it's like, is it a parka? I can't remember. But regardless, that's nicely done. Face sculpts are excellent. They look really cool, and they're lively. And obviously, one looks like it's inhaling, and the other one looks like it's exhaling. But the exhaling one looks more evil or menacing, or just like negative, for lack of a better term. And the inhaling one looks a lot more like surprised or just fun and just not really evil, I guess. I don't know. But I assume that evil people inhale. I don't know. I don't know that many evil people, but I would imagine they would have to stay alive. But again, this is a robot, so who knows? But what I know is that, again, the sculpt is great, and that continues on to the belt. It's really nice. It's simple. It's got the little divots in it. And the feet, like the other characters in this line, have little circles at the bottom and some indentations there. But then, like other figures in this line, the back is where a lot of the detail is, where you get a little backpack with some ventilation shafts and some tubes on there. That looks really cool. And then there's a little, I guess that's an attachment for the head, like if that's a helmet, or maybe it's to make it tighter or something. But regardless, it's there and it looks cool, and it's just a little bit of extra detail to bring this figure to life. The paint looks fantastic. I love the blue and white. I love the subtle gradients on the, well, really all over the figure. It's a little bit more subtle here, but just so well done. And I love the juxtaposition of the matte flat paint on generally the body of the figure, and then a more glossy, shiny paint on the arms and legs and feet and hands and whatnot. And actually, I think the hands are a little bit more flat on this figure, but still, the arms are got some shine to them, as well as the feet and legs. Iceman comes with 2 interchangeable heads, 4 interchangeable hands, 1 ice effect, and an effect stand for the ice effect. All right, so now let's talk about the articulation you're going to get out of Iceman. So starting at the neck, well, the head, I guess, you got 360 rotation at the neck. However, this little part right here, which is his, like, I guess the hood, I don't know, there's a proper term for that, but I can't think of it right now. And then the back of it also hinders the motion a little bit, but you can get around it. It's just, it's not fluid. To because it's ice. Oh my goodness, sorry, I couldn't help myself. No, but so you can get around it, but it does get kind of caught on the shoulders there with those parts. They can look up, not really that great, and they can look down a little bit better, but not by much because of their hood. And so, but you still have a decent amount of wiggle room there, at least side to side. So there's that. And then at the shoulders, you have 360 at the shoulders. You also have a hinge for up and down movement. You also get the elbow bicep swivel as well as a hinge. So all kinds of wiggle room there. And then you have the interchangeable hands that allow for 360 rotation as well as a hinge for back and forth motion as well. You also have 360 at the waist, and that's really cool. And I believe it's on a rocker joint as well, so there's some movement down there to be had as well. Let's see here. The splits, decent amount, really good. You got thigh swivel. You have the knee swivel as well as the knee joint for some more kicking, bend in action, as well as the ankle rocker. And that, I do believe, is all the articulation you're going to get out of Iceman. Well, I can't get his arm straight. He didn't want to do it. There we go. All right. Yeah. So there you go. That's all the articulation you're going to get out of Iceman. This figure stands at 4 inches tall and weighs just over 2 ounces. So now let's see how they compare to some other figures you might have in your collection. Here they are next to Fireman and Mega Man from the same line of Mega Man figures from Jada Toys. Here they are with the Bandai 66 Mega Man figure and the Funko Dr. Wily. Here they are with Figma's Kid Icarus and Marvel Legends Iceman. Here they are with Mattel's Masterverse Evil Lyn and SH Figuarts Chun-Li. Here they are with Storm Collectibles Sub-Zero and Jazzwares Slushy Soldier. I'm going to have to say that real slow. Jazzwares Slushy Soldier. Got it. Here they are with NECA's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1987 animated series Raphael and the NECA Mirage Comics knockoff colored bandana Raphael. Here they are with McFarlane's Batman 66, Lord Deathman, and SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Vice. Here they are with Bandai's Pokemon model kit Lucario and Hasbro's Marvel Legends Wolverine. Here they are with NECA's Mirage Comics Splinter and Super 7's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates Donatello. Here they are with Hasbro's G.I. Joe Classified, Snow Job, and Arctic Bat. Here they are with McFarlane's Mr. Freeze and Mattel's Masters of the Universe Classics Icer. Here they are with NECA's Alf and Fresh Monkey Fiction's Cyborg Santa. So being a big fan of Mega Man, I love the character himself in all of his games and all the different iterations of him. However, a lot of times there's so many of the evil robot masters in each game that like they kind of get lost here and there. And some of them make more of a lasting impression than others. And Iceman was one of those that kind of just made a lasting impression with me. You know, it just, I don't know. I just definitely remembered him as a kid. And I think it has something to do with the his attire that, you know, he's got the little hood that comes up and whatnot. I don't know. Something about him just seemed really cool. So I can't be the only one who appreciates ice-themed characters, right? Or at the very least that thinks that they're cool. Like, I know I'm making the joke, like, that they're cool. But, like, I still think it does something psychologically. Like, you just knowing that ice is cold and that there's a character that it has ice-based powers that, you know, that just makes them cool. Like, you just, I don't know, maybe it's some juvenile association thing that just, you know, our brains just fast forward to, yes, they deal with ice. Okay, they're automatically cool. And maybe if they're not cool personality wise, they at least look cool to some degree, right? So anyway, I think Jada Toys did a fantastic job here representing this character in plastic form, as they have done really well with the rest of this line. And I don't know, like just holding this figure in my hand, he's so perfectly proportioned in my opinion that I'm just really taken with this figure. He looks and feels fantastic and plays really well. I love how dynamic his facial expressions are, and it just makes me wish that we had a couple more so you can get him in all kinds of like scenes or whatever you're trying to do with him. And I don't know, but regardless, what we have with his inhale face, which is a weird thing to say for some reason, it just looks like a surprised face, so you can like set him up in all kinds of different scenarios, and it would work really well with them, with that face. And I think that's really cool. And I guess the exhaling face does too. Like you could probably do some really creative things with that. But being that they're both so visually dynamic, like on opposite ends of the spectrum, where one's like, you know, looking kind of like happy or surprised, and the other one's looking kind of like angry and aggressive, you got a good range of emotions there that you can probably like fit into some of your photos if you're taking pictures of these figures. But again, the paint looks fantastic. The sculpt is minimal, but what's here is great, and it gets the job done. And again, you know, based on the character models, like this is, you know, pretty good for what we already had that was just like, you know, little pixels back in the day. So it does a great job of giving us a little bit more than just the, you know, a flat character. It gives it some dimension and some dynamics, and those dynamics are further accentuated by the awesome paint scheme and gradients, and then the mixing of glossy paint and flat paint just really sets these figures apart and makes them come to life, like I've already said. I think the effect part is really cool. I would like to see a couple more effect parts if we could, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. But I like that they come with the little stand that like holds it up. That's really cool. But nevertheless, there are a lot of other ice-based figures that you can find some accessories for and use them here with Iceman, and they work very well. Same thing with Fireman. You know, maybe Jada Toys is playing off of that, you know, you got other characters that are based on these same themes. So just, you know, here's one, but you can use other things with it. I still think my favorite part is he's wearing a parka. Like he's a robot. Like why does he need this? He doesn't need this. He's designed for this. But I love the character design that they're like, we got to further emphasize that this is a cold character. And yet the parka is supposed to keep him warm. Like I don't know how that all works. That sounds a little counterintuitive. But nevertheless, it makes for an awesome looking figure, and it goes really well with the line that it comes with, and you can throw him in a lot of other things. Like I said, though, what makes this figure so cool with the shiny parts and then the flat parts, that mixture is also going to be the thing that might make it not work with a lot of other lines, or that have more of a flat paint scheme. They might not gel well together. But then again, I don't know. Depending on the lighting, you might be able to make it work. So having said all that, I think Jada Toys is killing it with this line, and I'm super excited to be collecting it, and I don't think you'll be disappointed with this figure at all. So if you are a fan of Nintendo, Mega Man, or video games in general, and you're also an action figure collector and you have an action figure shelf, you're gonna probably be very happy with this figure because he fits all those boxes very nicely. And if you're someone who likes to collect ice-related action figures, then Iceman will go very well on that shelf. Or if you're a fan of characters that are slightly shorter than the rest of the characters in their line, like the Ninja Turtles or Wolverine, then Iceman will be an excellent addition to that Short King shelf if you just so happen to have a shelf full of characters that are super short. All right, well, that's going to do it for me today. Thanks so much for watching, and if you liked what you saw, hit the like button. If you want to see more from me, hit subscribe and let me know in the comments who's your favorite Short King in all of fiction. I just want to know. I always love when Wolverine, like I mentioned earlier, I always love when Wolverine and the Ninja Turtles are drawn shorter. There's just something really cool about them not being like 7-8 feet tall specimens of just like machismo. Like, I don't know. I like the fact that the shortness is part of their character. There's something about that to me. I don't know. But regardless, I want to know what you think about all that. So let me know in the comments. And until then, else time.